Hello and welcome to Starting Points, where one thing leads to another. This is a short version of 118, More Traveling by Horse. Though this isn't about traveling by horses, it's a book I wanted to share in connection with what I shared last time about Canadian agricultural farming in the prairies. It's called Butter Down the Well, Reflections of a Canadian Childhood by Robert Collins. I really like this book and have shared it with other people, and just wanted to include it, mentioning it. There's one particular chapter about the harvest, so horses. Once they were introduced to North America, and there's actually a very interesting tale that I didn't mention before, where horses had been on in North America, but they were much smaller. They found fossil remains of. I'll try to find that book and share it with you. The Girl Who Loved Wild Horses by Paul Goebel. He also wrote and he illustrated The Gift of the Sacred Dog, which is referring to the horse. Life was made much easier with the help of the horse. And Sky Dogs by Jane Yolen, paintings by Barry Mosher. Yes, try to think of it as a gift from, where did this animal come from? I mean, whoa, this is going to make a whole lot of things a lot easier. One thing leads to another. Here's a case of a writer I mentioned before, Jean Van Leeuwen, Oliver, Amanda, and Grandmother Pig, one of her several easy-to-read books for 5-6-year-olds. And I don't know how she did this, where she started, but that may have, certainly age-wise, that's for the youngest. And then that the Great Christmas Kidnapping Caper for like 10-year-olds. And then for 13 and up, Bound for Oregon, and Conestoga Wagons, and a story that she discovered and written by a person who made that journey, a young girl named Mary Ellen, and she's filled the story out with conversation and done lots of extra research as well. This is a story for 18 and up, in my opinion. Beyond the Divide, Catherine Lasky. She's such an amazing writer. If you check her out on Wikipedia, you'll see the, 100 books that she's written. This was very, very emotional book, and that emotion actually grew as the story went on even. The Prairie Schooner, Glenn Rounds, noted for writing horse stories for 10-year-olds, nature stories, interested in lots of things, tall tales, illustrating books. He wrote and illustrated a history of the Prairie Schooners. This is by Pam Ryan. She found a marker about a person named Charlie, who was the first woman to vote in California in 1868 in a presidential election. It's called Riding Freedom. I found that quite a fascinating book. Friend recommended this to me, and boy, I really loved it. It's been inspiring for me. It's called Parnassus on Wheels by Christopher Morley. A neat story, very, very neat story. Annie and Company by David McPhail. He wrote and illustrated this story of her in a taking a caravan, just like a Parnassus on Wheels is a caravan. He lives in it and sells books to people on his way south in the fall, and after the winter he heads back north in the spring, visits the same farmhouses and all, brings the news and brings books. This story, I'm going to spell the author's last name for you. It's used in the title. It's T-S-C-H-I-F-F-E-L-Y apostrophe ride. And his ride goes from Buenos Aires up over the Andes, all through Central America, and ends up in Washington, D.C. About 10,000 miles. Took him about 3 years, around 1930. This is a little later, about 1938. It's called Saddlebags for Suitcases, and it's written by Mary Bosanquet, and that's Bosanquet. Sounds like a French name, but she was English. She went to Vancouver, and then she rode a horse across Canada to Montreal, and from Montreal down to New York City. Quite a story. Well, thanks for joining me. Until next time, bye for now.